So what's all this buzz about K2? Sometimes it feels like there's a lot more heat than light around this subject. I recently read that book, Vitamin K2 and the Calcium Paradox, by the lady from Canada who's got a doctorate in nutrition. And here's the thing, I felt like if I heard one more time or read one more sentence about Weston Price or we need to be eating animals that have been raised on grass instead of corn, that my eyes were going to cross. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. When you start actually digging into the science behind some of these issues, there's some very interesting science there. And we're going to cover just the beginning of an early side story around the science in this video. It's going to start with a discussion about an article from a standard American Medicine Cardiology Journal, the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, JACC. This article was in 2015 in June. I'll show you that in a minute. But here's the title, and it's intriguing given the topic we're talking about. Vascular calcification, arterial damage, and decline in renal function may be triggered by the inhibition of the vitamin K-dependent protein matrix gamma-carboxyglutamic acid, GLA-MGP, by vitamin K antagonists. Maybe we can simplify that just a minute. Basically, the story is this. We have known for a long time that people on K1 inhibitors, specifically warfarin, tend to get a lot of increase in calcification of their arteries. Now, what's that got to do with K2? I'll leave that for a little bit later, but it does. And I'll tell you this, it's some of that connection has to do with GLA, the matrix protein. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Again, where was that article? Journal of the American College of Cardiology, June 16th, 2015. Translate. Basically what they're saying is MGP, this protein, has a significant impact on deposition of calcium, is also impacted by an enzyme called matrix GLA protein. That matrix GLA protein is impacted by vitamin K. In fact, it's dependent on vitamin K. So guess what? In addition to blocking things like warfarin, when they block vitamin K1, they block the K1's ability to change this GLA protein. In other words, this calcification depends on a protein called MGP, matrix GLA protein. That protein, in turn, is activated by vitamin K. Vitamin K, in turn, if it's deactivated by warfarin, then takes you back to where you're starting to get a lot of calcification. That's the basic point. Warfarin inhibits the function of MGP, which in turn antagonizes or stops the inhibitory role of MGP in the process of vascular calcification, therefore resulting in arterial damage and decline in renal function. If that still sounds a little bit confusing, maybe this next couple of images will help. Here's the matrix GLA protein. It's non-carboxylated, so it's not active. There's a process called gamma carboxylation that activates this matrix GLA protein. However, vitamin K antagonists like warfarin stop that gamma carboxylation. If warfarin stops that gamma carboxylation, then the matrix GLA protein cannot be activated. If it's not activated, it can't participate in helping pull calcium out of the arteries. So that is that's the connection, and it has to do with basically inhibition of an activator. That's where you get a little bit confusing. To show this on the K, and if you're thinking about, well, wait a minute, this is all K1, Brewer. We're talking about K2. They're very different. I understand that, but as I said earlier, there is a connection in this metabolism, and it has to do with the carboxylation. So if you look at warfarin metabolism, it comes in and blocks vitamin K reductase and oxidation of vitamin K. And therefore it blocks the development of the MGP development, basically. Now here's another way of looking at it, and it starts to get back to the vitamin K2, the menaquinones. The matrix GLA protein, remember that? And if you're thinking, Brewer, that's an ugly image, I understand that. No apologies. That matrix GLA protein, UC means uncarboxylated. So if you want to activate the matrix GLA protein, you need to carboxylate it. The matrix GLA protein decreases calcium and therefore inhibits vascular calcification. We're going to study in other videos. We're going to look at osteocalcin, which is a different enzyme. It does exactly the opposite of matrix GLA protein. When it is functioning, it increases calcification and actually promotes bone mineralization. So matrix GLA protein pulls it out of the vascular area, and osteocalcin puts it in the bone. Now, this has probably been a little bit much in terms of trying to get the connections. We'll do several other videos in this area. I just wanted to show. The science is also pretty clear on these actual enzymes. This, for example, is the actual amino acid series involved with the protein. So that is the protein itself, GLA protein, matrix GLA protein in amino acid format. So again, maybe this was a little bit confusing. I hope not. It's just the first in a series that I'm going to be doing on K2.
Di BINARAGA.NET, kami selalu percaya bahwa setiap orang pasti bisa memiliki tubuh yang ideal dan sehat. Dengan subscribe, like, dan share video ini, Anda turut membantu membangun Indonesia sehat dan kuat. Salam jelas fitness, saya JP.